Okay, take two, I think. This is about fixing a blower motor in a car. This would apply generally to quite a few cars. Specifically, this is a 96 GMC Astrovan. The symptoms were the motor slowly stopped blowing as much air as it used to. It finally wouldn't start right away. You'd drive for a while, the motor might come on, it might not. Eventually you have to do something about it. The motor, the blower is located behind a rubber boot, completely enclosed. If it's original, if it hasn't been replaced already, then it's behind this rubber boot. You have to get these things out first. The hardest part of the whole job seems to be getting these two fluid containers out. You disconnect them here and here. You have to be very, very careful. There's a pump and wiring and hoses on the bottom of this. There's also the back of the headlight right here. Very, very easy to do a lot of damage just lifting this out. These units are about that deep. You can't see that, I'm off screen. These are deep, and they're also very heavy if they're full. It's an awkward, crappy job. You have to pull some hoses out of the way. Once you've got them out, you have to cut this boot. You remove the obvious things, but you have to cut this boot. I found that a large handled knife with a very short blade was the most useful. You're probably going to take some skin off your knuckles. It's a crappy place to work. Once you've got that off, you can see the blower housing, the metal housing that is attached to the frame of the car. This one was held on with 3 fasteners. There's many, many more holes in that flange than they actually use. Mark the ones that they actually used, and also mark the flange so that you get it oriented properly back in. There's a lot of holes. It's very easy to get this thing back in on a goofy angle, or get it half in and find out the rest of the holes don't fit. So once this is out, you haven't damaged the pump on the bottom, you haven't hooked on the back of the headlight and broken anything. You take these 3 little screws out, and the whole thing comes out in your hand. One of the books, this book suggests that you have to pull the squirrel cage fan off the motor before you can lift it out. That may be for some vehicles. If you tried to do that on this vehicle, you would almost certainly destroy something. It's a very awkward place to work. I found that I could get this with the blower, with the fan squirrel cage thing. It is awkward. You have to be slow, patient, and use lots and lots of light. Never stop looking. There's 100 things in there that you can get hooked on. Maybe less than 100. Anyways, once you get it out, if you're going to replace it, you just put the new one in and go in reverse. I was curious as to what stopped this thing from turning. When I got it out, the squirrel cage would turn. I didn't feel like there was a lot of friction, but I didn't get to see it. I didn't get to spin it before it failed either. Anyways, you find that the motor housing, when you look at it, it's too bad I put it back together. I'm not taking it out for you guys. When you look to see the way they put the motor housing together, it looks like they've spot welded 2 halves of 2 pots together. If you look closely on this one, they weren't spot welded at all. They had little tabs on one, went through holes on the other one, and they just folded them over. It was easy to take apart. In the end, I got this thing completely fixed without ever taking the squirrel cage off. The squirrel cage, I don't know how you get it off. I tried very hard and it wouldn't budge for me. Anyways, when you get the back off, the brushes and the front, they have a great big pillow block bearing on the front. Once you've got the back cover off, you can get at that bearing and get some lubrication on it. I did that The other thing that might have stopped it is the brushes could hang up. The brushes on this were only 40% worn. They weren't even half worn. And this car has like 200,000 miles on it. The brushes weren't even half worn. So if you take a little piece of wood or something and just run the brushes backwards in their holders, blow them out with air, get some of the dust out. Mine seemed to be free. I also cleaned out the commutator grooves with the same little chunk of wood. I don't know if that, in the end, I don't know what stopped it from running. When I got out of the part, there didn't seem to be extra friction there, but once I put it back together all lubed up and cleaned out, it worked. So whether a brush hung up, I don't know. But this turned out to be a free fix. I don't know what else. I got a bunch of notes here, but putting it back together is just the reverse. It's a crappy job. If you've never done anything before, this is a crappy job. You have to be extremely careful trying to get this out. Then the motor and the blower are very difficult to get out. There's a lot of stuff you can hang up and break just trying to pull them out. I'm not gifted. I didn't have any super special tools, but by going slow, I saved myself. I got the satisfaction of not having to go to Mr. GM and buy a new part on an old car. I hope that helps. I can't think of anything else. Good luck if you're going to try it. Some of these things are going to apply to lots of different vehicles. This is a 96 Astrovan. No, it's not. It's just a Ferrari. Anyways, take care. Good luck. Bye for now.